I asked you, I said, get a podium. All right, and I said to you, we needed a podium because John Elliott needed to look at something. I lied about that. It was because the last time that I gave remarks about Wendell, which was at his retirement at the Hyatt, Kathy, do you remember that? You remember that. It was in a room like this, but there was no podium. As I stood there preparing to speak, I only had a microphone in my hand. And both Kathy and Wendell looked at me. They were seated right there, almost where Kathy is. They pointed down to my crotch and made the zip it up sign. Of course, for me, there's no way to discreetly look down and see if anything is flying low. I haven't seen that part of my anatomy in 20 years. All I could was discreetly grope and realize that it was a very tasteless joke. I was blessed with more than 25 years of Wendell's friendship, his guidance, and his support. I think he trusted me. I know that he respected me, and I'm certain that he liked me. I think that he especially liked the fact that I am Jewish. I had hoped to become his favorite Jew, but of course there was Jesus, and then there was Jack. Still, he invited me to every affair at which good Catholics needed a Jew. Interfaith conferences at St. Joe's, Jewish Catholic dialogues at the Archdiocese, and especially very expensive dinners with Maynooth. Now, I still don't know what Maynooth is, but I am on the Christmas card list and other lists. You may have put me on that list. About a month ago, I received a telephone call from Wendell. By then, he was confronting his own mortality. He was in great discomfort and knew that death was near. Still, he picked up the phone, or maybe Kathy did, and dialed my number. I hadn't talked to him in weeks, a fact about which I'm not particularly proud. When I answered, he greeted me in a soft and uncharacteristically labored voice. He asked me how I was. Was I safe? Was my family safe? You see, he was worried. Even as he lay dying, he was worried about me. He knew that I had left for Israel a few weeks earlier, and he knew that missiles had been pouring into Israel when he called. I was back, but he wasn't sure. Notwithstanding this, the greatest and final challenge to his incredible life, there was still room in his heart for me and for my family. That was Wendell. Wendell was a complex man, but there were really very few mysteries about Wendell. He loved his family, he loved his church, he loved his union, and he loved his nation. And he was not uncritical of any of them. He was interested in just about everything, and more importantly, just about everyone. He was cynical about government and politicians, but he knew how to use the system to protect his members and confront injustice. Bobby wasn't cynical about you or your father, of course. You're not politicians. It was no surprise that on the evening that his father died, his son Brendan lay awake and restless, thinking about his dad and the remarkable life of this man. And as tears began to descend upon him, he heard a voice. Brendan, do not be sad, for your father is here with me in heaven. All right, so here is my first problem. How do you do God in the first person? You know, I went with kind of a deep Nordic voice, maybe like Larry Christensen saying, although my personal preference would have been a little more like Mel Brooks. But since it was Brendan's dream and not mine, I went with the Larry Christensen thing. being the son of Wendell Young III, raised Catholic and educated by Jesuits, Brendan demanded proof. Who are you? All right, here's my second issue. This is not a new question. Wasn't it, sister, wasn't it in Exodus when Moses asked the same question at the burning brook, who are you? And of course the answer is, I am that I am. And people have written books about this, but I'm not getting paid, so I'm not going into the theological. Naturally, God was taken a little back. He was not used to being questioned by one of the faithful. But upon a moment of reflection and considering Brendan's upbringing, the good Lord chuckled and said, I should have expected a little skepticism. After all, when your father arrived, he gave me the 5th degree. He demanded to know why he was here, as there was so much left for him to do in Philadelphia. So God told Brendan why he brought his father home to him. God told him that he needed Wendell in heaven for a very special project. He said Walmart was planning to open a and that all of the Lord's efforts to stop it had failed.
Oh, no.
Walmart in heaven. At that point, Brendan was concerned about whether Wendell had been sent to the wrong place. Quite frankly, it raises another disturbing theological issue. If Walmart beats God and builds a super Walmart in heaven, do we have to boycott heaven? I must say that the post-mortem shopping opportunities outside of heaven are probably pretty grim indeed. Then God said, your dad is doing a terrific job. He has assembled a stellar staff of organizers and community advocates, and the campaign is finally moving. I don't know where he gets the energy. Brendan was elated. He knew that his father was perfect for the job, but he was a little concerned that God might be a little over his head. I mean, we're talking about Walmart. But of course, we're also talking about the Almighty. God, that is. But still the Lord seemed uncertain, and he asked Brendan about additional staff. God said that he had recently received a memo from Tricia Coyle mentioning a few possible candidates, like Herman or Charlie or Peter. After reflecting a moment, Brendan said, what about my brother Wendell? He's very good at that sort of thing. You can't go wrong with Wendell. Wonderful how the brothers support each other.